Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. I'm Nick.
I'm Ian.
Today we're going to be doing something a little different than we've done before. Today we're talking about bad albums by great musicians. There's a bunch of links down below. Make sure you go check those out. There's links for the Vinyl Den Facebook group, for the Vinyl Den merch page, for our Spotify and Apple Music weekly playlist that we put together, and also the Patreon page. So make sure you go check all that out. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give us the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we release new episodes. So if you've been watching the channel for a while, you know we tend to try to stay positive on things, but decided to talk about some bad albums, just plain bad albums by musicians that are fantastic.
That we like, yeah.
All the albums we're going to talk about today, I love most of their other work, but it's just these albums were just surprisingly bad in most instances. The first one I'm going to talk about is one you'll probably be surprised about. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan. But their album, Ummagumma, is just, it is, in my opinion, the worst album they put together. This is kind of a gray area for me, though, because Ummagumma is actually two different albums.
Right.
There's a studio album to it, and then a live album. The live album is actually really good. It's got some great live tracks on here. But the studio half, there's 4 tracks on it. Each member of the band did their own track or led the track, and none of them are good. There's nothing on there redeeming. There's nothing worth listening to on there. In my opinion, it's hands down the worst thing that Pink Floyd has ever done.
So one of the bands that I really like, it's kind of I wouldn't say they're hugely popular, but Europe. They were big in the mid '80s.
Popular enough.
Popular enough. They had a huge hit with The Final Countdown and their follow up, which was Out of This World.
Yeah.
But their follow up to Out of This World is called Prisoners in Paradise. And other than having a pretty decent cover, I don't know. I had it on CD a long time ago, but I haven't.
Apparently, Ian doesn't own any of these bad albums on.
No,
vinyl,
I don't.
But apparently, I do.
I do own one of them, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Because it's not here.
It's there.
It's there. Yeah. But yeah, Prisoners in Paradise. I don't really know what was going on there. I've read some things that the band was trying to do some different stuff, but it's not a good album. It's not, and it came out at a bad time to be a bad album. If it had been a good album, it came out in 1992.
Yeah.
The hair metal kind of stuff was really hurting in terms of popularity. If it had been a decent album, it might have stood a chance. But it was a bad album that came out at a bad time.
Yeah, I think timing was a big issue with that.
And is the reason why they didn't release another album after that for
a long time,
like 12 years.
Yeah.
So actually, I think it's 14 years before they released their next album, which is a huge improvement. And the albums they made since then have been really good.
It's just that one.
It's just that one album in their catalog. It's a bummer to listen to. I just do not like it.
This next one I might get a little pushback on because I know there's some people out there that absolutely love this album. For me, though, it's, I think, by far the worst album in their catalog. And actually, it's the only album in their catalog I don't like. I love all the rest of their albums. That album is Saint Anger by Metallica. I think what Metallica was trying to do with this album was kind of rediscover that old sound, and they completely missed the mark on it. It sounds forced. It just, I don't know. It just, there's nothing on this album that kind of pulled me in.
I think it sounds underproduced and overproduced all at the same time, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Because the underproduced part is overproduced. It's overproduced to sound underproduced.
Yeah. Like I said, they're trying to get that older sound,
right.
And it just didn't work.
Don't get me wrong. I probably don't hate it as much as most people do, but I understand your point of view for sure.
Because what they were trying to do something similar with Hardwired to Self-Destruct.
But that was more successful.
That was a lot more successful.
Yeah.
They were able to kind of find that old spark, that old metallic sound, and really make something out of it.
I agree with that.
I think they really kind of missed the mark on this one, though.
Big time. It could be that they were going to therapy at the time and having a lot of internal issues.
There was a lot of internal issues at that time.
Making this album. So who knows? Maybe that, if you've seen the documentary, Some Kind of Monster, you'll understand what I mean by that.
If you haven't, watch it. It's actually really good.
Yeah, it's a fascinating look into the minds of people who you think should be like hard rock, like angry people, and really they're just they're big softies inside who have a lot of...
they're just people.
People, yeah. My next one is, it's not that I hate the album, it's just, it's another situation where it's too different. I know where they're trying to go with it, but it's just too different. And that's I'll Be Your Girl by the Decemberists. Because they're kind of a band that really focuses on like acoustic instruments mixed with electric, standard electric instruments, not electronic. But they introduce a lot of electronic elements to this. And it just doesn't play well, in my opinion, with their sound.
They try to be a little more experimental, and it just
yeah, and I get it, and maybe they weren't even being experimental. It's just where the music was going with them. But overall, if it had just been a handful of songs that were like that rather than the whole album, it would have been better. But it just kind of fell short for me. I do have it, I didn't bring it with me.
So last album on my list is another one where I love most of the albums from this band, except for this one. And that album is Father of All Motherfuckers by Green Day, released the beginning part of 2020. It's an album where the nicest thing I can say about this album is the artwork is cool.
Yeah, the album cover is good. I love the title. When I first heard the title, I was like, okay, this is going to be a great album. No. For shame, Green Day. For shame.
Yeah. It's a bad album.
It's a bad album.
There is nothing redeeming on this album. The funny thing is, I know some people that like Amagama. I know some people that like Saint Anger.
Right.
I don't know anyone that likes this album. It's a forced album. Green Day, this is the last album to get out of their recording contract. It sounds like something that they just kind of threw together just to be done.
It sounds like music by a band that forgot that they were like not 15 years old.
Well, yeah.
I mean, really, it sounds like music a 15-year-old in 2020 would make.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
No, it's not good. There's nothing redeeming on here. No. Like I said, there's not a single track that I even want to go back and listen to again.
I've tried listening to this album a handful of times. Every 6 months or so for a while, I was like, I got to give it another chance. And every time, it makes me want to cry. Every time I listen to it.
I will say there are albums out there that I've listened to before where I didn't like it.
Right.
And then, 6 months, a year later, after listening to it a couple of times, I get it. I might not even get to the point where I love the album, but I get it. And I kind of understand it. I understand where they're kind of going. I don't understand where they're going with this album at all.
And they've released singles, new songs after this that are not this, which are good. It's good stuff or decent stuff. So I'm hoping this was just like a minor moment they were having, maybe a slight midlife crisis.
Yeah. I think really it's something, like I said before, that they just kind of rushed through it just to be done with their recording contract.
Yeah, maybe. I can tell you that out of all the bands that I would put in my, say, top 100 bands that I like, Green Day is one of them. Out of all of them, no other band has an album that I loathe as much as I loathe this album. So my last one is Blues Traveler. Their album Blow Up the Moon. Again, I kind of get what they were trying to do. It was the problem is it's not a band album. It's the band plus a bunch of other artists.
Yeah.
They had guest artists on every song, and the guest artists helped co-write the song. So it's not a Blues Travelers album. I maybe that's why I don't like it. I really don't think any of the songs are that good.
There's too many cooks in the kitchen.
A lot. That's probably a lot of it. And
what year did that album come out?
2015, I think.
Okay.
14, 15. And for the songs that came out of it, as many people that worked on these songs and quality musicians, you'd think the songs would have some redeeming qualities, and they really just don't. They're just kind of bland. Yeah, there's nothing exciting about this album at all. And from a band that I think is quite talented and can put out good music, even some of their lesser albums
are really good.
Are still really good. Every song is at least listenable. Most of these songs they're skippable. Yeah. I don't even care. So it's an album I don't even know if I want to own in my collection, and I'm a completist with bands like Blues Traveler.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever own Blow Up the Moon because I almost see it as like a
throwaway album,
like a various artist type of album that just happens to have a lot of Blues Traveler on there. So yeah, Blow Up the Moon by Blues Traveler is one. It's just not really sold on it.
Yeah. Well, that's all we got for you today, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. Make sure you drop us a comment down below. Let us know some what you guys think of these albums. What are some of your bad albums by great musicians? Because there's a bunch of them out there.
Just be, fair and rational about it. I was probably really hard on the Green Day album, but
it's deserved.
Remember, there are probably people out there who do like some of these albums. So
maybe
don't insult the people who like them. You can say what you want about the albums themselves. Just don't make fun of or be rude to people who may like these albums.
But let us know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give us the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. And that's all we got. Until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Keep on spinning. Peace.